cried the Sparrow.
You're listening to the Sailing into Oblivion podcast, where we sit down with everyday people who do extraordinary things. I'm your host, Jerome Rand.
Welcome to day 15. It could be the last full day at sea. I don't know, though. I don't know. Did you like that tune? I'm your host, Jerome Rand. We're going a little stir crazy out here after so many days. Not so much the length of the voyage, more the duration of super duper light winds. They can play on your emotions. One of the difficult parts that I'm dealing with right now is that we're still moving. And we're still moving at a decent enough clip, about 4.5 to 5 knots, that I'm sort of like, well, geez, there's no real option. There's no you wouldn't fire up the engine. You wouldn't douse your sails and drift. I mean, right now we are about 40 miles, 50 miles from the edge of the Gulf Stream, the eastern edge. We're just about south-southeast of Freetown or Freeport on Grand Bahama Island, making our way in a beeline. I think we're headed towards like West Palm Beach. Oh, quiet down, radio. And yeah, for the last couple of days, it has just been off and on and super light. The nice part is, for the last 24 hours or so, or since I made the turn around Great Abaco Island and started heading west, the seas are non-existent. I mean, 6 inches, maybe, if that. And so we were able to actually last night get away with poling out the big drifter, which I would only ever do at night because it's the most disgusting looking setup, because the pole isn't big enough, and it's janky. I'm not even going to describe how bad it was, what I was doing, but it worked, and I was able to go down below and sleep. And Mongo did a great job of running dead downwind in about 5 knots of breeze. We were doing almost the same. Felt like it, at least. We were doing at least 3 or 4 knots, and just with the biggest, sloppiest rig you ever saw in your life. And there were so many cruise ships. Holy smokes. Like trains and trains. Now, granted, yesterday was Saturday. Yes. And I would think that the cruise ships probably load up on Friday, or they load up on a Saturday. Offload on a Friday, load up on a Saturday. I don't know how they do it, but they were on their way over here to Nassau. And wow, we started picking up Wi-Fi signals from them. There was a couple that were so close. I mean, it was just one after another. Disney, this, that, and there were spotlights in there. It was pretty amazing. And I am glad that so many people at least get to go out and experience being on the ocean. So that's the positive spin on it. It's a bit of an eyesore for sure, but whatever. Hey, there's people having a good time. They're on vacation. I'm gonna park it right there. But yeah, did get some sleep. I'm kind of getting that edge back, so to speak, where the worries and stuff like that, even with traffic and everything, it's kind of like trust the system, trust what I have, the safeguards in place, and go lay down. You're going to get an hour or two. That's going to help. And yeah, it did. Slept a good amount last night. And today we've got, just kind of working with it. I mean, the forecast hasn't really been spot on at all for the last 2 days, so I'm hoping that that's going to continue, and we're just work with what we've got. It's about 140 miles to our destination, and it's kind of weird. It's one of those where, we're only doing 5 knots, so it's about 125 miles in a 24-hour period. So chances are we could actually get there. I just don't want to have to motor if I don't have to. But at the same time, I can't just sit out there and drift in the Gulf Stream either. There's just too much motion going on. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It is kind of funny though. When I got up this morning and kind of looked at everything and did my logbook entry, I kind of had that feeling, when you're on a long, across the Atlantic or across the country, multi-hour airplane ride, and you're back there in coach, and you're just like, man, this plane, I got to get off of this thing. And you're getting kind of close. And the captain comes on, and it's like, oh, we're going to start our descent here towards, San Francisco, da, 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 and he goes on and on. And then, at the end of it, he's like, we should be touching down in about 45, 50 minutes. It's like, oh, it's almost an hour still. I thought we were going to have like 15 minutes left. And it's not that I am itching to get off of this boat, because it's not like I'm actually going to get off of the boat. I'm just going to go tie it to a dock. I am itching for a nice big meal, a nice couple of miles of running, definitely an ice cold, crispy BL, amongst other things. I'm out of like supplies, like the normal stuff. I want bread. I want some cheese. I don't want any more prepackaged things. I have 2 eggs left, which I'm going to make egg fried noodles with that probably tonight. I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy being this close and then yet still so far. And so it's kind of this weird frustration thing that I'm definitely trying to, step back from, get a little reference, because it's crazy. This is like a beautiful day. It's 80 degrees. There's a slight breeze, so it's not super hot. Sun is shining. Sails are full. Seas are calm. What else could you look for? I've got pages to read in the book. I got tunes to listen to, all that sort of, this is the dream. This is the dream. Now, the fact that there's this finish line that's over that horizon, I think that's what's doing it. But again, like I talked about so many times, it's perspective. It's all about your perspective and your frame of reference. And if you can keep that in check and keep that in mind, or just be aware of it, then sometimes you can course correct, I think. Because I was just getting so antsy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to get there. And it's like, whoa. The minute you get there, you're just going to want to go back out. So you do kind of those little reality checks. And again, it's just trying to dampen down the frustrations that you might be feeling and be able to chase after the ultimate goal, right? Enjoying my time. Wow. How innovative of an idea is that? Enjoy the time you have doing whatever you're doing. So but I am going to take advantage of the calm condition today to do a full cleanup of not only the interior of Sparrow, but also of the old skipper here, who could definitely use a bath. And I don't know. I mean, I think the rest of the day I just want to sit, I want to read, I want to drink coffee, and just enjoy a little bit of time out at sea. Do another noon position. I'm getting pretty good at those. We're getting to less than 2 miles of error on the longitude or latitude. I haven't done the longitude. Maybe I'll try that one again today. But I am coming up with game plans for how I'm going to post all of these podcasts, which I think could be pretty fun and a little different, a little something, but obviously then that would make this one of the final ones. So if you've made it this far in this series, I applaud you, I congratulate you, and I thank you. We're probably going to end up adding to this one because I want to definitely, if today's the last day, then at sunset, I'm going to add to this one. But yeah, we're just going to work our way through the day, utilize, but also enjoy our time. Thanks for listening until a little bit later. Okay, so we are back as promised. It's sunset. The sun has gone down. The Gulf Stream has not quite been reached, but we were right on the edge of it. And, what's that name of that place over there? Freeport. Freeport is to the east of us. And, it's about 60 miles directly to West Palm Beach, but we're going to head a little further north than that. Well, last count, there are about 14 ships all around. Oh, it's like a beehive. I must say this is one of the busiest times I've done this little gap here, and I know it's all this traffic's coming from Florida between the cruise ships and then all the shipping stuff. This is a perfect little spot to jump out. I don't know what this channel, Northwest Providence channel. Yeah, Northwest Providence channel. Heavily used. I mean, this is the sort of traffic you usually see over in Straits of Gibraltar or the Bosporus Strait. This is, I was pretty shocked last night when it was just a train, but those were mostly cruise ships, so. Anyway, it's going to be great. We've got semi-clear skies. There's one bank of old squalls that I'm sure are on their last leg. Those are all behind us. Right now, though, we have a north breeze, and I don't know. Forecast was calling for a southeasterly, turning into southerly, turning into a calm. So I don't know. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that at least this northerly holds until, and it's light. I got the drifter, the staysail, and the main up, but hopefully we'll make it all the way out to the main part of the stream so that we can start our way north. And if the wind dies, then motoring, I'll be motoring at 7 or 8 knots over the ground, I think, something like that. Because that was the thing. I had to make the decision, right around 1 o'clock, the winds just dropped and the speed just dropped. And all of a sudden the ETA is now showing, midnight, not tonight, but midnight tomorrow. And I don't know. I'm just like, not that I thought it was going to always stay like that, but it was just one of those things where I don't want to arrive in Fort Pierce or Port St. Lucie, wherever I end up going. I don't want to end up there pulling in at night because I don't have a slip. Oh, coffee's ready. Hold on. Coffee. I have drank so much of this coffee on this trip. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to have to do a caffeine detox. Which I think if you're doing detox, I don't know if you could hear me on that one, but I've just been drinking so much coffee on this trip. And I need to ease that up quite a bit. So I'm going to probably once I do get back, I'm probably going to get a little bit of decaf to keep on the boat so that, we can tone down. If I don't have coffee in the morning, usually by around like 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, I'll start to get just the slightest tinge of a headache. And I know that's a sign that you're drinking way too much caffeine on the regular. I mean, I get up at 5 in the morning or whatever, and the first thing I do is start boiling that water to get the coffee going. So I don't know. It's a carryover from being out at sea. I didn't used to. Barely ever drank coffee back in the day. And I don't know. At some point, it just started to help. I think maybe it's just an age thing, when you get into your 30s or whatever. But who knows? Some people pick it straight up. I mean, I know some people that were drinking coffee back in high school. That is good. So yeah, right around 1 p.m., everything starts dropping off, and I was like, oh man, it's hot. It's like 80 something degrees. It's sunny. I really didn't want to run the engine. I didn't want to be relegated to listening to that. But I got to tell you, she's purring like a kitten. She's not even all that loud anymore. I don't know what's going on. And we ran her just at 900 RPM. We're doing like 5 knots. No pressure. Everything's just stable. It was great. We ran her for 6 hours. And like a champ, like an absolute champ. And I even took Mongo, took the blade out of the water, the rudder, so we'd get that extra quarter knot or whatever, and ran with the little tiller pilot. It's so flat out. I mean, just awesome. And I for years I've griped and pissed and moaned and complained about that engine, and granted, it's given me some serious puzzles to sort out for sure, and it still does. Obviously, if you listen to the show, you know what happened back in December. But over the years, it's also been a masterclass of, hey, this is how you fix and troubleshoot an old Perkins 4108, the Blue Bandit. And here's a couple of things you got to look for. And I don't know, it's been one of those things where now, there's a checklist in my head, so to speak, that I go through if there's an issue, and in short, it's like there's impellers and there's belts, and then there's the fuel filters, and then, blah, all the way down the line. But even getting back down to Florida and switching out the oil pressure sensor alarm, I mean, that was great. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to derail this trip. I'm never going to be able to find this part. It's got to be for Perkins. Oh no, it was at Napa. This is great. And it was the exact same one that was on there. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where those challenges sometimes just, they turn out to be the greatest teachers, and I think present a person with opportunities if they're willing to take up the charge and troubleshoot and figure it out and learn. I remember this old friend of mine up there in the down east in Maine, and he was really, really mechanical. I mean, ripping an engine out of a boat, put it right back together, that sort of stuff. I mean, really full on mechanical. And I asked him, I was like, where did you learn all that? Did you go to school? Did you take classes? He's like, no. I just started, working with other people, and they would show me how to do stuff, and then I'd do stuff, and you basically just learn it that way. Learn by doing. And I think there's something pretty big to be said about that. I've only done one diesel engine course, and it was only like a 1-day thing or something. It was basically like, here's a diesel engine, these are the parts, blah, blah, blah. It didn't really teach me, besides changing the oil and the impeller, it really didn't show me much of anything. Now, throughout all these years, and more specifically with this engine, the troubleshooting stuff is really, it's turned out to be a silver lining. Let's just say that. So 6 hours trouble-free. Let's hope, knock on wood, when we finally do get over to the other side and we have to motor up the inlet and all that sort of stuff, let's hope 2 things. One is that the marina has a slip for old J. Rome, because I got to clean this boat up. We're going to be dressing Sparrow up to show her. We're going to have a cocktail reception for the boat where people can hop on board. And then we go and do the presentation after. And this is the second one, so this is the presentation about the disaster voyage. I have to do so. I'm going to have like almost 2 weeks time, I'll have I'll have like 10 days or so. So I think I'm going to, if the weather looks like it's going to be good, I'm going to attack the cap rail. I got to do something about the varnish. I got to strip all the old varnish off. I'm not going to revarnish it, mind you, but I'm going to clean up the wood and we'll figure out what we want to do to protect it, or if we're just going to let it go gray. But it's so ugly right now with the patchy on-off varnish. Yeah, it's sassing me up. So I'm going to try and get Sparrow all looking clean and sharp, because then after this presentation, I'm docking her, and she's going to hopefully, fingers crossed, I guess there's 3 things I got to figure out, whether or not I got this private slip or not. But if I got the private slip, boom, just going to go in there. And I won't see her until April, when I come back down and figure out if we're going to take Montaigne, if that one's green lit or what. So we will see. Going to be pretty interesting, pretty exciting. So I'm going to go up and enjoy the rest of the colors of this lovely sunset and this last night way out at sea. The Gulf Stream is the only thing that stands in between me and food and beer. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. It was a hot day, but it was a good day. And, yeah, looking forward to getting back to land. Looking forward to going for a run. Oh, Lord, my legs need it so bad. It was so cold and so rainy last time I was in Florida. That was one of the things. I was like, I can't wait to go running. This time, though, it's going to be good. All right, that's it for the final full day out on the sea. And again, thanks for listening. There's only going to be the wrap-up show after this. I can't believe it. Woo-hoo-hoo! And that's when we'll tally up all the numbers and all that sort of stuff. All right, stop talking, Jerome. Thanks for listening. Bye.